Welcome to today's deep dive. I mean, just imagine beaming the uncompressed data equivalent of a fire hose across like 6 miles of a massive stadium and doing it flawlessly with a box that draws less power than an LED nightlight.
Right. It's wild to think about.
It really is. Today we're looking at a product listing from HDTVSupply for a highly specialized piece of broadcast gear. It's the AJA FiDO-T-12G-ST fiber transmitter.
Yeah, and the mission for this deep dive is really to decode how this seemingly mundane, super compact box secretly powers these massive live events and video productions you see every day.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at a device that basically converts heavy, high-bandwidth 12G SDI video signals into single-mode fiber optic light signals, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And doing that is what allows video cable runs to go up to an astonishing 10 kilometers, which is, let's see, about 32,808 feet.
Over 6 miles. Which is just insane. I mean, a 12G video signal is basically an unruly fire hose of data. But I have to push back here for a second.
Sure.
Why do we need to turn the video into light? Like, why not just use a really long standard copper cable?
Well, because standard copper just can't handle that kind of massive bandwidth over long distances. The signal degrades way too fast. What's fascinating here is the actual physics of it. Converting that data to light via fiber is really the only way to shoot pristine video across 6 miles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it literally translates all that electrical chaos into pure light pulses, just to bridge that massive gap without dropping a single frame.
That makes a lot of sense. And since this signal is traveling across, well, huge environments like entire stadiums or these multi-truck production setups, the physical box has to be rugged enough to actually survive the trip.
Absolutely. Live production is a highly active, sometimes chaotic space.
Right, so the physical design of this thing really caught my eye. It has this compact, low-profile enclosure, so you can squeeze it into tight spaces behind racks, and it features a locking ST barrel connector. I mean, is that essentially a seatbelt for data?
A seatbelt?
Yeah, like making sure a random sound guy tripping over a wire doesn't just unplug the entire broadcast.
Exactly, yeah. That's a great way to put it. In live broadcasting, physical reliability is just as important as technical capability. If that connection isn't locked in, you lose the feed entirely.
Right.
Plus, the listing points out that it runs on universal 5 to 20 volt DC power, drawing a maximum of just 2 watts. And it includes a 5-year AJA warranty.
Wait, only 2 watts? That's nothing. So it's basically built to survive the production trenches without overheating. But surviving the physical trip is really only half the battle, right? Because the actual digital data has to arrive looking completely flawless.
Right. You don't want any digital degradation after all that effort.
The specs mentioned that it features reclocking for the SDI input. Is that basically like an automatic spell checker for video?
A spell checker?
Yeah, like making sure the digital signal doesn't get sloppy or out of rhythm over that massive distance?
Yeah, I'd say that's highly accurate. Over 10 kilometers, the signal timing can naturally get a bit jittery. Reclocking physically cleans that up and realigns the timing perfectly before it ever hits the fiber line.
Oh, nice.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's also passing through all the SDI metadata. So things like HDR or high dynamic range get preserved.
So it's protecting the color data too.
Exactly. Passing that HDR metadata ensures that the rich colors and the deep contrast aren't lost in translation. It essentially preserves the director's visual intent all the way to the viewer.
Which is just wild for a piece of gear that costs, $1,185? I mean, this tiny transmitter really is the ultimate logistical problem solver for video professionals.
It really is. It takes the heavy lifting of modern broadcast engineering and just makes it invisible.
Yeah, invisible but essential. So the next time you sit down to watch a flawless live sports broadcast or a massive concert on TV, take a moment to look at the screen and ask yourself, how many invisible miles of light pulsing through fiber optic cables are making that exact image possible?